Hey guys, Skellington80 here. So today we are back for day 17 of 25 Days of Monsters, and we have the Jabberwock from Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll in 1871. Lewis Carroll, if you did not know, wrote Alice in Wonderland, which inspired that Disney movie and those two live-action Tim Burton movies that no one really seems to like, but I kind of do because they're just kind of fun. I have yet to watch the first one, but I will definitely watch it because it looks pretty good. And as per usual, we have the illustration. Dang, look at that thing. That is one freaky looking creature. Tim Seibert really did not mess around with these illustrations. Okay, and now the category is Whiffler. The base of operations is Looking Glass Land. When is Brillig? It'll make sense later. Powers, Manxominous. Again, it'll make sense later. Weakness, Vorpality. Unfortunately, this will not make sense later. Most Dastardly Deed is terrorizing the Tulgey Wood. And Fear Factor is 2, even though that's kind of relative. The Jabberwock has claws that bite. No, fudge, I messed up already. I'm such an idiot. The Jabberwock has jaws that bite, claws that catch, and eyes of flame. It is Manxome, and it whiffles and burbles. Alice found this useful information in a book on the other side of the looking glass. That's an old term for mirror. She had previously explored Wonderland and later passed through her mirror to the looking glass realm. There she found a book in some language I don't know, she said, before she realized that it was simply English written in reverse. Holding the book to a mirror, she revealed the perfectly clear and simple poem. And this is the poem, which was, of course, written by Lewis Carroll. Alright, Jabberwocky. 'Twas Brillig and the slithy toves, did gyre and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome wraths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the Manxome foe he sought, till he rested by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish as he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the Tulgey Wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come into my arms, my beamish boy, O frabjous day, callooh, callay, he chortled in his joy. Alice's verdict: it seems very pretty, but it's rather hard to understand. Somehow it seems to fill my head with ideas, only I don't exactly know what they are. However, somebody killed something, that's clear at any rate. My thoughts exactly, Alice. Later, Alice met Humpty Dumpty, and he explained some of the mysterious words in the poem. He said some words are like a portmanteau, a suitcase that opens into two parts because there are two meanings packed up into one word. Slithy is packed with lithe and slimy. Mimsy is packed with flimsy and miserable. These are portmanteau words. Others are harder to understand. Brillig is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and a wabe is a grass plot around a sundial. These may seem like strange definitions, but Humpty Dumpty proclaimed, "When I use a word, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less." And once Humpty Dumpty explained what a tove is, the rest of the poem makes perfect sense. Doesn't it? Yeah. A lot of these stories are really weird. And the content of them is weird as well. Including poems, and I'm not sure why I said that, but whatever. Alright, beyond the book, Victorian nonsense. Lewis Carroll wrote nonsense verse, which means his poems aren't supposed to make sense. Nonsense verse became very popular during the Victorian era, when people began to fear that maybe it was the world that didn't make sense. The technological and social advantages that would rock the 20th century, advances in transportation, in communication, and women's rights, had just started when Through the Looking Glass was published in 1871, but people were already feeling uneasy. As a result, Victorian nonsense poetry is often scary and dark. While nonsense verse might not seem to hold any meaning on the surface, it's worth taking a closer look. Carroll's greatest nonsense poem is The Hunting of the Snark, which was written in 1876, which looks like a funny nonsense poem about a baker's quest for a mythical creature known as a snark. But there's a danger. If the snark happens to be a boojum, the baker will softly and suddenly vanish away and will never be met with again. There are many interpretations of it, but this is the most likely one. The snark is the true nature of reality. If the snark is a boojum, then life is meaningless. Through science and philosophy, we will learn more and more about the world, but we're always in danger of learning too much and finding out that the world is a boojum. Indeed, the poem ends with the baker disintegrating, for the snark was a boojum, you see. The Gossack distims the doshes. In 1903, Andrew Ingram wrote the sentence, "The Gossack distims the doshes." Philosophers have used Ingram's sentence to talk about how we can understand the grammar of a sentence even when we don't know what the words mean. When we read that slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe, we know that tove and wabe are nouns, gimble and gyre are verbs, and slithy is an adjective. Familiar words like the and did or help us figure this out. And the greater the number of familiar words we see, the easier it is to puzzle out a strange word's meaning from context. Mangsome has to mean scary or tough because it's describing a fiery-eyed monster. O frabjous day can only be a cry of celebration, so whatever frabjous means, it must be something good. If only we had a little more context, maybe we could figure out what a Gossack is. I don't know, it honestly sounds like some sort of bird to me. And to be honest, dosh kind of sounds like marshland, so maybe my personal interpretation of the sentence is it's a bird surveying a marshland that it wants to nest in and seeing if it's worth nesting in. I don't know, I'm weird. Phantasmagoria. Although his Alice books are his most famous, Lewis Carroll wrote other humorous novels and collections of poems for children. Phantasmagoria, 1869, describes a lengthy argument between the narrator and the phantom that haunts his house. It's all just a big misunderstanding. When the narrator tells the ghost to not be so shy, the ghost replies, "And as to being in a fright, allow me to remark that ghosts have just as good a right in every way to fear the light as men to fear the dark." Good point, I guess. I can't argue with that. And with that, we have reached the end of today's video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll be back for day 19. Wait, no. Today's day 17. Darn it! I thought today was day 18. I'm so sorry. I'm dumb. Okay, I hope you'll be back for day 18 and be back for day 19 after that. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And thank you for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I will see you next time. Bye!